talk about this Friday's disappearance, the disappearance of Joseph Skyler Burnley, but for the purposes of the interview, we will be calling him Sky. He disappeared from Rankin County, Mississippi. The nearest town is Brandon, Mississippi, but he was technically from Florence, Mississippi. He disappeared on June 3rd, 2016. The title of the episode is The Lost Day. And his mother, Stacy Humble, will be the guest. This is an disappearance that was covered by Crime Watch Daily back in 2019. I will be linking to that on Facebook and elsewhere so that people can watch that video. They hit the general facts of Sky's disappearance, but as we do on Unfound, we get a little more in depth than they do, and that's why Stacy's interview is about 2 hours long. And I will be doing a video that will appear here on YouTube. I'm going to film that tomorrow. Do that tomorrow. Very important that I think all of you understand these locations. The general facts that are still in dispute to this day, 4.5 years later, is that Sky was over at a guy he was over at the house of a guy who had worked on his truck and fixed it. This guy's name is Travis Brewer. Travis Brewer lived there with his girlfriend Amanda and their child. Sky was at their house, and while he was there that night, June 2nd into June 3rd, allegedly Travis's truck got stolen. So the next morning, when they discovered that it was stolen, instead of calling 911 or anything, Travis, Sky, Amanda, and their child decided to get in Amanda's car and go look for this truck. And they were doing so allegedly using Sky's phone to track the truck because Travis said that his phone was in the truck when it was stolen. So they were using some sort of phone tracking app. That took them to Bridges Road in Rankin County in Mississippi. And allegedly what happened was that they got there. Amanda stayed with her child at the car. Travis went in one direction. Sky went in another direction. A little while later, Travis came back. Sky didn't come back. And he was never seen again. Now, the big issue, though, is that when the truck was found, and it was in the general area of Bridges Road, Travis's phone wasn't in the truck. It was actually found down the street from where he lived, like in the grass next to the road. So the big question is, how did they track the truck to that general area of Bridges Road when the phone was never anywhere near there? It's a little bit of a stumper. So there's also a video at a convenience store that we're going to be talking about. There was video also taken, although we will not get to see it. I have not seen it. A video taken near Bridges Road of a person who had video on the outside of his house that showed on that day, June 3rd, the car going out there on Bridges Road that allegedly had Travis, Sky, Amanda, and their child in it. I have to tell you, these disappearances that we're starting 2021 with are real tough ones. Tough. TJ Murray, Noah Davis, Jake Latchley from last week, and now Sky Burnley this Friday. Very difficult. Very complex, conflicting stories. Multiple theories that all seem viable. I don't know how that happened. We certainly didn't plan it that way, but we are starting 2021 with some tough ones. Now, I think, although I've not done the interview next week, I think it's going to happen this weekend. Next week's, I think, will be a little more straightforward. But these ones for 2021 so far, multiple possibilities. And Sky Burnley's is one more of those. So there you go. Thank you, Marlene. Marlene. Jill, like from the U.S., but was visiting somewhere else. That kind of disappearance, Jill. No, nothing that's on the radar right now. So, no. Kim, I wish Unfound could end up on the investigation Discovery without all the Hollywood fluff. Well, like I said, that's one of those things, Kim, that I was talking about earlier about you're either going to adapt to your environment. You're going to either adapt to your environment or the environment is going to adapt to you. And I'm not adapting to the environment, so the environment's going to have to adapt to us. Sheree, once I dug into it, it seemed pretty clear to me. Sheree. But you haven't heard the interview yet, Sheree. I just don't know. Of course, I'm going to have to start writing that blog on Patreon for it to come on Sunday. But I will let you know if you're a Patreon member, patreon.com/Unfound Podcast. You will get to hear my conclusion on Sky's. You will get to read it on Sunday. So there you go. It's a tough one. I don't think it's straightforward. So that's about it. It's true that I haven't. I'm looking forward to it. That's true. I haven't. Okay. All right. So what did we do tonight? Talked a lot about disc golf and playing doubles and winning some money twice, yesterday and today. Cleaned out my car. Foggy last night. Talked about Paul Franchak, who coincidentally he and I worked at the same place back in 2003, 2004. The Lachelet poll, Lord and Arts. Remember, special episode coming out this coming Monday. Robbie Hurt, Dr. Grace Telesco, Unfound Now, talked about the man who disappeared and then was found in the Grand Canyon. Took a bunch of questions from Jill, Jolene, and Valerie, along with some right here in the chat, and then finished it up as we usually do with this Friday's disappearance. The disappearance of Skyler Burnley from Rankin County, Mississippi on June 3rd, 2016. That'll be Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's it. That's all I got. You'll hear me on Friday. Some of you are in the think tank will see me on Sunday evening. We'll be going back to Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's all I got. I hope you enjoyed it. That's why we do it. Love talking to all of you. Good night. Well, if you have a particular case from the UK, email me. unfoundpodcast@gmail.com, Louise. Good night.